Welcome to the Prisma Enterprise event. I am super excited to have so many of you join us today. We have a great lineup of speakers, and I can't wait to show what we have been working on. I'm joining you from my home office here in a cloudy Berlin. For many of us, the past year has been a year of great challenges, both personally and professionally. In the software industry, we have seen a dramatic acceleration of the existing trend towards a higher degree of work from anywhere and even global teams. Our industry, of course, is well positioned for this shift. We have had a much easier time adjusting than our friends and family in other industries. But at the same time, the past year has shown us that our past tools and practices no longer cut it for a fully online and highly distributed world. When you're sitting in an office and can simply yell out to get everybody's attention, you can get away with a very informal and ad hoc process. Instead of having a tool that tracks dependencies and progress, you can rely on hallway conversations and quick huddles around a single screen. As we have all learned, recreating this environment digitally with tools such as Slack and Zoom is not the same. We need something better. At Prisma, our vision is to help individual developers and organizations adopt a structured approach to working with application data. By introducing tools that make explicit all of the ad hoc coordination that used to happen organically in the office, we can create a more efficient and predictable work environment that works both in the office and for fully distributed teams. Many of you have already used the first product resulting from this vision, Prisma Client. Prisma Client is helping individual developers and small teams adopt a structured approach to application data by introducing a declarative schema to describe the structure of your data. The Prisma schema is both easy to read for developers and business people alike, and highly structured, making it a great foundation for automated tools. This is the foundation that enabled us to use TypeScript code generation to create the most advanced ORM in the Node ecosystem. It is also enabling third-party framework creators to deeply embed Prisma Client, like GitHub's co-founder Tom Preston Warner did for his new Ruby on Rails-like framework, Redwood.js. Prisma Client is the culmination of years of work and is already being downloaded hundreds of thousands of times each week. And earlier this month, we launched the GA version of Prisma Migrate after a year of intense work incorporating feedback from early users. Combined, Prisma is on track to be the largest ORM in the Node ecosystem. The products we have released to date have targeted individual developers and small teams. And today, for the first time, we are going to talk about our plans for helping organizations and large enterprises adopt a structured approach to working with application data. The vision we're presenting today is shaped by 5 years of working with engineers from forward-leaning tech companies such as Twitter, Facebook, and GitHub, and observing the tools and platforms they have built internally to make their application developers more productive. At GitHub, for example, when your feature requires a change to the database schema, rolling it out to production is not a scary process involving lots of ad hoc coordination with architects and database administrators. Instead, the entire process is managed through a seamless workflow that brings all the relevant stakeholders together through deep integrations with GitHub, Slack, and their automated database migration tooling. Similarly, at Twitter, if your feature depends on pre-calculating a field from data owned by other teams, you don't have to set up Kafka and a complex stream processing framework. Instead, you just use their internal programming language called StratoQL to declaratively define the data projection, and then the system just takes care of the rest. It updates this predicted field whenever the source data changes. As we started to work with more companies, we realized that a common trait for all of these high-performing tech companies was that they had invested massively in what we now call an application data platform. And in contrast, when we spoke to enterprises from more traditional industries, we saw that their application developers was wasting time solving these problems again and again because they couldn't justify the upfront investment in an application data platform. And we have seen something similar before. 15 years ago, Google was able to outrun everybody because their investment in advanced job scheduling systems enabled their application developers to focus on shipping product instead of managing infrastructure. And today, of course, this technology is available for everybody in the form of Kubernetes and serverless compute. We believe that a similar tectonic shift is happening for application data, and Prisma is proud to be at the forefront of this transition. The fact that you are here today, of course, means that you too are excited about this future, and we look forward to build it together with you. I personally look forward to talk to many of you in the office hours we have scheduled in the next few days, and in the future on Twitter, in Slack, or at conferences when that is a safe thing for us to do again. And with that, we are going to get started. Please enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you for the concise keynote, Søren. Exciting times ahead for Prisma.
Indeed. And thank you to everybody here today. I think it's going to be an exciting day for all of us.
Yeah. So we'll now do a Q&A. And to the viewers, if you have any questions, feel free to submit them via Swapcard. So Søren, are you ready to take some questions?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I think over the last 5 years, Prisma has realized the vision of making the most advanced ORM. What are some of the hard-learned lessons in that journey?
Oh, that's a really good question. When you're creating a project where your aspiration really is for millions of developers to adopt it, it's really important that it not only is very good, but also feels familiar. So in other words, the way the project is presented, the way you interact with it as a developer, it cannot be too radical or too new. With Prisma 1, we went a little bit overboard and sort of required you to run a separate server that you could query over GraphQL. And there's a good reason for that architecture, and we'll talk more about that during the day. But we found that it was too different. Too many people were struggling to adopt it. So with Prisma 2, we very purposefully position it as just an ORM, something very familiar, something that is easy to adopt. But really, when you dig into it, using Prisma Client still feels very much like querying a GraphQL API. You just do it in JavaScript, in TypeScript, in your language. And that's for a good reason, because this style forces you as a developer to think about upfront what data you need. And then the query engine can go and fetch all of that data in the most efficient way, which avoids one of the common pitfalls of other ORMs, where there's too much back and forth between the application and the database. So that theme of discovering something new, but then making sure that you really drill into the essential core of that idea and deliver that as a product that feels easy to use and familiar, that has been a key learning for us.
I see. Yeah. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. You spoke about the shift from managing infrastructure to shipping products by adopting new approaches and technologies. At the same time, we've seen companies face challenges when adopting new approaches such as microservices prematurely. Do you have any insights when it comes to adopting new technologies and new approaches?
There's no easy answer, right? It's a really good question. And it is definitely important to be mindful of the fact that a lot of decisions in the software industry are made based on the latest trend, essentially, rather than a careful analysis of what your company needs. And that can cost you a lot of time and resources. On the other hand, technology is progressing really fast. So you need to be able to have an environment where you can experiment with new approaches, learn what worked for you, what you should maybe look into again in 5 years. Ultimately, it depends on the stage of your project and your company. Is this a long-term project where you're just starting to ramp up? Maybe it makes sense to experiment a little bit more. Is it something where you just need to get something done now and don't care too much about the future? Maybe don't mess around with too many new things, just get it done. But many big projects, large companies, they need to have this thing going on the side where they try to learn about new things to stay current and make sure that they can be as productive as their competitors are, right? Because it's a competitive landscape and technology really is improving. So I think it really just depends on where you are.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Let's see if we have any questions. We have another question. Do you want to reply that one on Swapcard so we can wrap up the Q&A?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll log in and reply in the chat.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Søren.
Thank you, Daniel.